The box office numbers for Fantastic Four First Steps are officially in, and this film opened to a $118 million this past weekend, as in the United States. On the surface, it looks like a smash hit for Disney, but I will say this right now, this is not good for Disney. I will explain why in this video. This film on Friday, its first full Friday, did an impressive $57 million. Now, if we compare it to its current rival, which is Superman Legacy, that film on its first full Friday did $56.1 million. So what happened in this scenario here is that into the weekend, even myself, so many bigger pundits, so many publications were expecting this film to make between 130 million to 140 million dollars when it was all said and done by Sunday. But then again, Sunday afternoon, it was now revealed that this film fell off completely on Saturday. It was like a 360. It had a massive drop on Saturday and as well as Sunday, and this is why we have just a measly $118 million in its first weekend in the United States. So let's compare it to Superman Legacy. The first full Saturday brought in $33.2 million as compared to $37.6 million that Superman Legacy earned on a Saturday. Then on a Sunday, it only made $27.8 million as compared to the $31.3 million that Superman Legacy earned. So all in all, it is around literally a $7 million off the opening weekend of Superman Legacy. And this is even with the theater ratio, they are quite similar in terms of the theater average number. And you remember Disney always tends to get more theater numbers than any other studios in the Hollywood business today. So what I'm getting at with this is that with a $218 million opening, it is quite literally sorry, $280 million. That's for worldwide opening. It's quite similar to the $220 million opening of Superman Legacy. Now, this on the surface looks like it's trying to compete with Superman on a day-to-day basis going forward, and could end up with a $600+ million when it's all said and done. But I doubt this film will cross 550. And let me now say this. The opening already in the United States with the drops it's having day to day already suggests to me that this movie is heavily front loaded. If you don't know much about being front loaded in the business, let me explain what it means. Front loading means that people casually are intrigued by your film. They go pay for the theater tickets, go see your film, but they don't really put out that word of mouth that can drive their friends and family members to the theaters to do the same thing that you've done. So this film can generate quick revenue. It's still similar to Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman made $166 million in its first weekend and barely crawled to 300+ million when it was all said and done. I think it ended around 320 when it was all said and done. So barely 2x its opening weekend for its entire run. It depended heavily on the international market, and now the international market is not helping this current project. It only made $100 million in the international market, and it's quite similar, the same pattern with Superman Legacy. Superman Legacy made $95 million in its first weekend. So what I'm getting at with this analysis here is that this film is following the same pattern as Fantastic Four First Steps, and the same pattern as Superman Legacy, not Fantastic Four First Steps. Apologies. Now, one thing I have realized with this project now is that it wants to play similar to that project from James Gunn. But I don't see it happening in this fashion. I just see this film slowing down really quickly this coming weekend. I think his second weekend drop will be way harsher than what Superman Legacy had. I can see it in the 60s or in the 60 plus drop. So now the question would then be, who is the person to be blamed for this, underperformance? I would really point to one actor here, and I would say it's Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal's casting really soiled this project's potential to be a $1 billion hit. The reason I keep saying this is that Pedro Pascal is too controversial as an actor to be a spotlight for a project like this. Marvel needs to heal from the woke disasters they've been putting out for several years. And the only way they can do it is to disassociate themselves from divisive actors and actresses that will put stain on their projects. People like Pedro Pascal should never have come anywhere close to this kind of project if Marvel wanted it to succeed. Now, if you go on YouTube and you see analysis from people like Grace Randolph, I always call those ones the shield access media hunters. Those ones will always say everything positive about an actor and not minding the consequences. But me personally, I see these things for what it is. Pedro Pascal is a cancer to the business and should not really be given all these kind of roles that hurt the box office of these projects. Right now, Pedro Pascal is undergoing a massive backlash on social media, and yet you have people like Grace Randolph trying to say that that backlash did not affect the box office. But I beg to differ. I say that backlash he's been facing is what is causing why this project is not hitting the heights. Pedro Pascal is too divisive to be the main spotlight of this project. And then another thing that has hurt the box office of this project is the female power of this project. We could all see that Sue Storm was the centerpiece of this project. Not only her, Julia Garner being Silver Surfer. I know we've all talked about this for many, many months, but I'm saying this, that the female overemphasis on female leads that is overshadowing the male stars is what is hurting the box office of these projects. Now, how much can this project earn at the end of the day? I wouldn't be able to point to a final figure yet. I can't say that it will earn this, but personally feel it will earn between 550 million to $600 million. That is my own take on the box office opening of Fantastic Four First Steps. So now let's take a look at the top 10 of the whole weekend. Superman Legacy came in second with 24.9 million, but it will get its own separate video because it's official. It has crossed $500 million. Jurassic World is it's still blasting in the box office. It generated $13 million for a total of 301.5 million. F1 made 6.2 million for a total of 165.6 million. Smurfs made 5.4 million for a total of 22.8 million. I Know What You Did Last Summer did 5.1 million for a total of 23.6 million. How to Train Your Dragon did 2.8 million for a total of 257 million. Edgerton did 1.7 million for a total of 8.1 million. Ojai did 1.1 million, and Elio did 957,000 for a total of $71.5 million, and that's a massive flop for Disney. So what I'm getting at with this whole analysis here is that Fantastic Four open okay enough, but this is still an underperformance because this film should easily be crossing 250 worldwide this weekend, but it didn't do that. And that is the box office rundown for this past weekend. Share your thoughts down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Follow us here. I'll see you guys very much next time.